Hello fun fans, welcome to the FRC Forecast, the ultimate destination for FRC predictions. I'm your host, Angel Miranda, your guide through the storm surge of the 2024 season. Each week, we will select 8 events that promise to be a storm of excitement, and me and my fun correspondents are here to break it all down for you. Locks, contenders, and dark horses, we're deciphering the forecast to give you the inside scoop on who's riding the lightning to victory and who's about to create some thunderous upsets.
This video on fun is brought to you by viewers like you and also in partnership with the following. Discover how Kettering University students engineer their success with Kettering's amazing co-op employment programs where students earn great pay and gain valuable experience. Those accepted into Kettering University can apply for a robotics scholarship providing up to an additional $5,000 a year in tuition assistance. Head on over to kettering.edu/first to learn more and apply. Support Fun's content creators when you sign up for a membership on YouTube Join. You'll get access to special perks like emotes, loyalty badges, and Fun members will even get early access to our scheduled videos and more. 100% of this revenue will go back to our correspondents to help recognize their efforts. Click the join button in any YouTube video to pledge your support.
Our first forecast of the 2024 season takes us to the New England District, where we have our correspondent Ari covering the Granite State event. Ari, take it away.
Up next on our forecast, we're heading north to the New England Granite State District Event. Located in Salem, New Hampshire and hosting 35 teams, Granite State was unfortunately cut short by a snowstorm last year, but they are back this year and one of the most competitive events in New England, especially for an early event. We're forecasting significantly less snow this season, so if you're interested in seeing how Crescendo will play out, hopefully in future weeks and maybe at that elite level, this event will give us a peek at what that kind of play may look like heading into week 3 or 4. There's a lot of teams here that compete in the upper echelon of what New England is, and we are going to get to see how they get to play together for the first time in the first week possible. So let's start with our locks. Up first, we have Team 6328. Perennial New England contender and also some of the best robots in the world year after year. Mechanical Advantage. They're starting their quest back to Einstein for the second year in a row. They are Open Alliance this season once again. We have seen their robot be built since the beginning, and it is just fantastic this year. Seeing their process is something that we are incredibly lucky to see, but we are very excited to see their auto path planning in particular, which optimizes for nodes at the center line. They're going to be a great alliance partner to play with in that case, and they are just going to be stellar in eliminations when those auto shots really matter. They are one of the only robots heading into this event with a trap mechanism, so that is going to help them in the seeding and the rankings, so expect them to seed high. They've got a robot with a pivoting arm that can shoot basically anywhere on the field. They have a speaker shot that's incredible, they have the shot from the podium, they have an amp, and they can shoot from the midline too. Hopefully we'll get to see that a few times. They have been up to Granite State a few times, taking home at least one award each, so expect them to seed high and execute a deep playoff run. The question of this event isn't really if 6328 is going to seed high, but really who's going to partner up with them. And for our next lock, it is probably going to be this team. Let's go one digit up to 6329, the Bucks Wrath. Rumor in New England has had it that Bucks Wrath has had their robot mechanically built since week 2, and it absolutely shows it in their stellar reveal video. They have shots from off the podium, they have shots from the subwoofer, they shoot while on the move, and it is the most smoothest shooting that I have seen in any robot so far this season. Their shots from off the podium will also be really useful, as we saw that since this is an early week, there was a lot of defense being played at some of the earlier Israel events. So that'll be super useful. They haven't competed at Granite State since 2019, but 6329 has been trending exponentially upwards for the past few years. They ended their season last year with a deep run on Einstein, and they are dialed in and ready to turn it up to 11. But also ready to turn it up, and they've already been, operating at that level, winning week 0. It's 34-67, the Wyndham windup. They are also Open Alliance, and they won week 0 with an unfinished machine. They also won last year's Granite State District, and they are looking to go back-to-back. They've got an arm on a shooter, and although they had some mechanical issues at the beginning of their season, they have pushed through and really made an incredible cycler that could do some damage here. They posted some shoot on the move footage too. If anyone can steal that first pick from Buck's Wrath, it will be Wyndham. So our second contender at this event is Team 95, the Grasshoppers. They are also Open Alliance, and they're hopping across the border from Vermont. 95 publicly pioneered the now meta asymmetrical vertical shooter. They have a quick robot that's designed for cycling to various areas in the wing to shoot into the speaker. Expect them to come in with very high accuracy and only improve over the course of the event. Now that we've established kind of our top tier and who can take them down, it's time to highlight at least one dark horse here. So Team 1058, the PVC Pirates, made their debut at the official Week 0 event with a finished robot. They had a really solid subwoofer shot and a climb, in addition to a range of autos that made them a great alliance partner, including a few that pick up and score from midfield. They're a solidly mid-tier team. 1058 might fly under your radar reading this team list, but they're certainly poised to break out and sail away this season with the Black Pearl. Tune in Friday and Saturday to catch all these great teams and more at the Granite State District Event.
Thanks, Ari. Let's go ahead and move on down to Israel, where we have our correspondent Danielle featuring the Israel District Event number 3.
Israel District Event number 3 will take place next week with 29 Israeli teams, including Israel District Event number 1 winners 1690 Orbit and 3339 Bumblebee. They will be joined by other fan favorites such as teams 1574, 1577, 5654, and 5987. Let's take a deeper look at some of these fantastic teams. Firstly, one of my locks for the event is definitely Team 1690 Orbit. They just won ISR 1 this week. We get to see a different style of bot from them this year. It's smaller, faster, compactable, kind of reminds me of 2910 Jack-in-a-Bot. They have the highest DPA, and for a good reason. I think this is my favorite 1690 bot since like 2016 or so. I definitely expect many more fantastic matches from them. It's such a beautiful bot, and I can't wait to see more of it. My second lock for this event is going to be their alliance partner, Team 3339 Bumblebee. This team has constantly been a top-tier team here in Israel. They've qualified to every championship since 2015. They had 2 consecutive Einstein appearances, and every year they have a really thought-out, beautifully designed bot. I really like the way they have their limelight on a mini turret this year. They kind of add a mobility element to it, and I find it really unique. And I really think they're the only team so far that can keep up with 1690. Moving on to some contenders this event, starting with Team 1574 Miskar. They're another top-tier team here in Israel. I think they had a very strong competition this week. Their trap is one of the more consistent one we've seen so far. I kind of felt like the hat fell a bit short last year, but this year they really opened well and opened the season strong, finishing quals in second place, being Alliance 2 captains. They almost made to finals, and I do feel like they can put up a fight. They just need to get there, so I definitely feel like this week is going to be a good chance for them to make the improvements that they want and make it all the way to the top. Another contender is Team 1577 Steampunk. They're for sure one of the best here in Israel. They've been the world finalists as an alliance captain a few years ago. And they did have a few difficulties the first day of the competition. So they finished kind of low in the rankings, but they definitely made their way up. They made lots of improvements between day 1 and day 2 of the event. So I definitely can't wait to see what they can do in a week. They still had the 5th best EPA of the event, so even though all of those difficulties, they still managed to be on top, which I find just shows how strong this team can be. For my dark horse for this event, I have Team 6738 Excalibur. Last season was by far their best one yet. They actually won ISR 3 event last year as the Alliance captain. They're not as well known worldwide yet. They had a great bot. They managed to stay in the top spots the first day of the competition. Although they had some technical difficulties the second day, which made them drop places, they still managed to be the first pick of Alliance 4. I truly see a lot of potential in this bot and in this team, and I definitely think they can go far. And it's definitely a team that I would like to put a highlight on for the worldwide community to pay attention and watch, because I definitely think they can make it all the way. Good luck to all of the teams that's going to compete in this event. I definitely can't wait to see what's going to happen. We have so many good teams that are going to compete. It's going to be exciting. I invite all of you to join us as always and let us know what you think and if you have other teams that we should look out for.
Thanks, Danielle. Let's move on over to the Southeast region where we have correspondent Griffin covering the CHS Ashland event. Griffin, the stage is yours.
The 2024 season is looking to start off with a bang in CHS, as 30 teams will be gathering at Patrick Henry High School for the CHS Ashland event. Trust me when I say this will be a very interesting event, as we will see a mixture of Northern Virginia, Southern Virginia, and even some Maryland teams classers this event. But without further ado, let's jump into some locks, contenders, and an interesting dark horse for this weekend's competition. As my lock for the event, we have 2106 Junkyard Dogs. This team has been slowly climbing the ladder in CHS over the past few years. Starting with the number 1 seed at their only event in 2020, 2106 has been hounding for competitions each year since. In 2023, this peaked with their DCMP finalist appearance and their first trip to the World Championship as a team. I had the chance to see their robot in action for week 0, and this team has done a great job with the robot. A variable arm shooter that they have had functional since week 3 of build tells me that these dogs have had a lot of training and are ready to be best in show. Up first in the contenders is 8592 Newton Squared. After a stellar 2023 performance for the team with 1 blue banner and a DCMP finalist appearance, 8592 is poised to put the mat together for a success in the 2024 season. Showing off a well-machined robot at week 0 and some strong drive capabilities, this team is definitely a force to be reckoned with and will be ready to punch the numbers for a blue banner. Leaving their Maryland high for this event is our next contender, 836 RoboBees. This team is coming off a buzzworthy season with 1 district event win, 1 district finalist, and a World Championship Division finalist, and winning both digital animation awards last year. The only reason they're not a lock is because of their history of being on and off of their first events, as they come in and seem to just have some kinks that they're still working through. While not having revealed anything for their 2024 robot as of this recording, definitely keep an eye on them to be ready and raring with a robot made to send rings zipping into the speaker. Rooting into our last contender slot is 1599 Circuitry. A consistent team for the Southern CHS events, they're looking to branch out and expand their mark on the district entirety. As of now, they're currently boasting a 3-note auto with a 4th note on the way. Along with an under-bumper 4-sided intake, this team is really rooting for those notes and wants to make sure none are leafed on the ground. Along with a good trap amp mechanism, they are ones to watch out for as they timber down the rest of the competition. For the dark horse of the competition, look no further than one of the rookies this year, 9709 Isotope. This team is popping with energy as they have brought a simple but effective swerve robot for their inaugural FRC season. Having an early build schedule completed, this volatile team with a lot of drive practice is looking to trace their path through the competition and make their mark on the district. CHS has had its share of rookies have massive breakout years, so let's see if 9709 will continue that streak. All in all, there are so many teams to watch out for, even more than the ones that I just mentioned here. So don't be afraid to just pop in and watch all the teams unfold, as Ashland is about to be a banger of an event.
Thanks, Griffin. Let's go ahead and stay in the Southeast region as we have our correspondent James covering the South Florida Regional. The stage is yours, James.
This forecast will be coming out of the Southeast region and we'll be focusing on the sunny and warm South Florida Regional in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. This is a very diverse group of teams, with the 28 teams from Florida being joined by 5 teams from New York, 2 from Turkey, and 1 team each coming from Colorado, Iowa, Massachusetts, and Texas. Last year, these 39 teams combined for 1 division win, 1 division finalist, 7 regional and district wins, and 10 regional and district finalists. With 348 and 4206 coming from districts, this is a rare Week 1 event with 2 potential wildcards. This event is looking to be very competitive and could be the event to watch this week. Starting us off with our first lock is Team 179 from Riviera Beach, Florida. The Children of the Swamp have won every South Florida regional since 2018 and are looking to keep that streak going. We actually are showcasing some exclusive footage from 179, showing off not only their quick speaker scoring, but also at the time of recording, they are the only team that has shown the ability to score in the trap. Combining these abilities alongside the 6-note close, 5-note race, and 4-note far autos they showed off at their scrimmage last weekend, 179 has to be a favorite to win this event for a record-tying 6th time. Speaking of, our next lock is just +1 from our last team, with Team 180 Spam, who currently has that record of 6 regional wins from South Florida, despite only having competed at the event 8 times. This is quite an impressive win-loss record. In their reveal video, 180 showed off some quick cycling, making use of a very effective under-the-bumper intake. Although not showing off many shots from a distance, most teams so far early on are opting for a closer shot, so this does not put them very far off from the other teams at the event. In the same video, 180 also showed a 4-note auto in just 9 seconds. That's plenty of time to upgrade it to a 5 or more. They also showed off recently an added amp scoring mechanism as well as a climber, so that should get them even closer to being able to rank highly. However, we would be remiss not to mention a big factor for both 180 and 179, and that is their history together. They've won a regional every year going back to 2017 and are looking to potentially keep that streak going. That streak makes them such a tight lock that it would be impossible to make one lock without the other. Our first contender, though, will be another South Florida team in 108 Sigma Cat Robotics from Fort Lauderdale. 108 has been on a bit of a dry spell, last winning a regional back in 2015. However, this year's robot may be their most impressive ever. This machine is just beautiful. Sigma Cat showcases some up-close speaker scoring as well as what appears to be a very quick amp mechanism. The reveal also showed off what appears to be a climber, however it's never shown being used. The biggest thing keeping 108 from being a lock is their intake and a lack of practice. 108's intake does not appear as forgiving as 179 or 180's, requiring a more precise lineup, and also a slower transition into their scoring mechanisms. 108 is also lacking the full practice field that the other two have, potentially making them have to play catch-up on practice day at the event. However, should those hurdles be overcome, 108 could easily be in a position of picking who they want to accompany them as a high-seed alliance captain. Our final contender is Team 694 Stipulse from New York, New York. 694 has either won or been a finalist at their first event every year going back to 2019, and has also won an event every year going back to 2018. 694 recently showed off their robot. This quick robot is able to cycle both amp and speaker with an under-the-bumper intake. They also showcased 2 unique autos, a 5-goal close and a 3.5-goal far. They also look like they may be capable of scoring in the trap, although they haven't shown such a capability yet. Also helping 694's case is that since returning from the pandemic, South Florida's #1 seed has never been a team from Florida, and 694 does look to be the best of the non-natives attending the event. Finally, rounding out this group is a dark horse in 5472, the Wild Stallions from Delray Beach, Florida. 5472 being a dark horse, despite being the #1 seed last year on the daily division, shows just not only how many sleeper teams are in Florida, but just how strong this event is. 5472 does not yet have any videos posted of their robot, however they were one of the teams in attendance at the 179 scrimmage. A fast under-the-bumper intake combined with a shooter on a pivoting arm makes determining where they want to score from a challenge for any defender. This pivot arm also allows for them to quickly and repeatedly score in the amp from a distance, a very rare feat right now. Although hard to see, they also have a climber on the underside of the scoring mechanism. But the biggest thing that's keeping them out of being a lock or a contender so far is needing to show they have overcome the mechanical consistency issues that cost them dearly last year, as well as not appearing to be as practiced as the teams above them. However, with a favorable schedule, 5472 could win their first event since 2018. Good luck to all teams attending the South Florida Regional and all events this week. Feel free to let us know in the chat or comments if there is someone we might have missed or you're looking forward to watching.
We hope you're enjoying this video here on Fun. If so, do make sure you click that subscribe button to stay up to date on all Fun YouTube videos and give the video a thumbs up. It really does help. We'd like to thank this show's sponsor, Kettering University, for their support of Fun. Those who are accepted in Kettering University are eligible to receive up to $5,000 a year in a robotics scholarship. Head on over to kettering.edu/first to get more information about Kettering University and the robotics scholarship. Over 30% of those who attend Kettering University were in high school robotics, so go attend somewhere that has so many other people like you at kettering.edu/first.
Moving on to the South region, we have me covering the First in Texas Waco District Event. Texas is being Texas and starting week 1 with a bang. The First in Texas Waco event ranks 3rd in top 8 average ELO, 18.3 for all you stats people, making it one of the events to look out for this week. With such a high average, you may be wondering who is in attendance at this event. Rest assured that this event's guest list does not disappoint. We have winners of the 2023 Dallas event 3005 Robochargers and 2468 Appreciate. We also have former 1st and Texas District champions 3310 Blackhawk Robotics and 6800 Valor. We also have countless other teams like 2881 Lady Cans, 6377 Howdy Bots, and more who have shined on the world stage. Our first lock of the Waco event is 3005 Robochargers. With the stats don't lie, with an EPA of 27.2, 3005 is forecasted to lead the 1st and Texas District. Going back to their dominant performance in 2023, 3005 charged through the Dallas and Fort Worth events, only suffering one loss at each event. With performance like this, and StatBotics simulations placing them at rank 1, I have no doubt that 3005 plans to dominate the 1st and Texas District once again. This is a definite lock for the Waco event. Don't place your bets on yet, as our second lock could give 3005 a run for their money. Team 2468 Appreciate is attending the Week 1 Waco event, and if their jersey has anything to say about them, it's that they came to play ball. With an EPA of 26.3, 2468 ranks second in the 1st and Texas District. With their simulated rank of 2, I have no doubt that Appreciate will be looking to take the top spot this week. That being said, this event is going to be a clash of titans, but I'm positive that these two teams are the locks for the event. Moving on to our contenders, I have Team 3310 Blackhawk Robotics on my list. Their EPA of 23.8 put them at a rank 6 out of the 1st and Texas District. This may seem like 3310 is out of the picture when it comes to the number 1 seed, but simulations have them as the 3rd seed with a chance of becoming the top seed. Even if they are not the top seed, any alliance 3310 is a part of will be a threat in playoffs. Our second contender for Waco is 6800 Valor. With an EPA of 22.4, Valor ranks 9th in the 1st and Texas District. The simulations for Waco place them at rank 5, but they are still a contender for rank 1. With their history of ranking no lower than 5 at their first 2 district events, I see no reason why Valor won't be fighting with the big dogs in Waco. Finally, our dark horse. This was not an easy pick, as the competition is intense at Waco. But going off the definition of a dark horse, my pick is 2158, the Austin Cans. With an EPA of 18.3, the Austin Cans rank 17th in the 1st and Texas District. This team out of Austin is really something special. It may seem like this pick came out of the blue, but I assure you this team has been growing bit by bit each year to get where they are at. I've seen firsthand how this team can really be a great pick for any alliance as they add their uniqueness to the alliance. All in all, this event is one to watch out for this week. So keep your eyes out for these teams and me at Waco, and don't forget to share your thoughts below. That wraps up the South region. Let's go ahead and move to our correspondent James, who's covering the 1st and Michigan Milford event.
From the Great Lakes State, the 1st and Michigan Milford event is safe to call elite. It is a real treat when the 2 top teams by EPA get to play together at the same event, especially this early on in the season. Milford never fails to disappoint, as it doesn't stop there. Teams from all over the state are coming together for a Week 1 skirmish that will certainly be one to watch. Without further ado, let's take a look at the cream of the crop of the Milford event. Our first lock is without a doubt Team 3538, the RoboJackets from Avondale, Michigan. 3538 has been cemented in the upper echelon of first teams for the past few years, as they won 11 straight FiM districts before dropping Troy number 2 in a heartbreaking fashion last year. While we haven't seen much of their robot this year, 3538 is sure to come out guns a-blazing as usual. The only tease we have had to their robot at the time of recording this is an Instagram post with their robot frame, but it tells us one thing: most likely it appears they're utilizing an under-the-bumper intake. But whatever bot they put out, I expect to be great. I predict they will seed first or be picked first overall. The second lock at Milford is, to no surprise, Team 67, the Hot Team from Highland, Michigan. Hot has a storied history with 3 World Championships, Hall of Fame status, and 48 blue banners. It is safe to call them one of the greatest first teams of all time. 67 has won every iteration of the Milford event but one. However, they still ranked first at that event too. While we haven't seen any media from 67 yet this season, I fully expect them to team up with the RoboJackets to win the event. Our first contender for this event may be on the outside looking in for the 1 seed, but will certainly make a run at the district title. Team 3175 Night Vision from Grosse Pointe Woods, Michigan, is themselves a world champion. As part of the Open Alliance, they've done a great job of documenting their impressive progress this season. In addition, they competed at Kettering Week 0 with a relatively complete arsenal of autons and smooth drivers. I'm excited to see how they shape up to the elites of 67 and 35-38, and we'll see, maybe they will break into that power combo. Our second contender is a perennial Michigan powerhouse, Team 4362 The Gems from Brighton, Michigan. The Gems have a storied history, including a state championship run in 2019, district wins up the wazoo, and plenty of strong robots. Once again, we haven't seen a robot reveal from the Gems, but I expect them to put together a contending robot that we could see cause some havoc at Milford. While there's plenty of other robots that could be considered contenders, a dark horse for this event to watch is Team 3322 The Eagle Evolution from Ann Arbor, Michigan. 3322 is crafty and has won a district event the past 2 years in a row from a non-1-2 seed. Expect to see the Eagles in a mix no matter what alliance they are on during playoffs. Good luck to all the teams competing at Milford this week. It is certifiably an event you won't want to miss. From state championship contenders to all-time greats, we will see who earns the title of Milford District Champion.
Thanks, James. Moving on over to the North region, we will have Dan covering the Lake Superior Regional.
Next up, we're headed up north to the Lake Superior Regional. This is at the Duluth Entertainment Convention Center, and it's part of the Double Decker. For those of you who don't know what this event is, there's 2 events in the same building at the same time. There's a total of 110 teams, 55 teams per event, and it's probably the closest to a super regional we'll get in FRC. There's a bunch of teams here trying to start off 2024 right. Let's jump right into them. The first block I have is going to be 2052 Nightcrawler. They have this adjustable angle shooter, and if you saw their week 0 tournament, they pack a punch. They've won a double-decker event every year for the past 4 years, and although they were still working on some vision issues week 0, I expect them to have had the time to figure it out, and they have everything else on that robot put together for a successful robot, and I look forward to seeing them go far at this event. My second lock, I have 6421 Warrior Bots. Now, if you want to talk about another recipe for success, take a look at this team. They're a fantastic Open Alliance team. They post a bunch of updates on Chief Delphi. And looking at their actual robot, they have a 4-node auto, they have this adjustable hood and ground intake, they have a fantastic amp mechanism that they used heavily at the Suffolk scrimmage, week 0, and they played a lot of matches there. On top of that, they've definitely had the time to improve since then. They're definitely going to be scary going up against if you see them in playoffs. I wish them the best of luck. Looking for contenders, I have a Team 930, the Maquanico Bears. They have this rotating angle adjustable shooter on a swerve drive, which you might think is too many rotations. However, it works well together, and it's definitely going to be key for them to avoid defense at this event. They did not banner last year. However, the year before, they had grabbed 2 banners, and they definitely have a history of being successful as a team. I look forward to seeing them continue this into 2024, and they're definitely going to be a scary team at the Lake Superior Regional. For my second contender, I have 6381 Red Raider Robotics. And all it takes is one look at this team's YouTube channel, and they have put in a lot of work. There's several prototypes that they went through, and they've definitely settled on a configuration that's going to work well for them. They have a ground intake, they shoot solely from the speaker, but they've definitely put in the work with driver practice and other things. Watching them play at some of the week 0s that they were at, they are averaging a pretty high amount of notes compared to everyone else on the field, and their simpleness in driving has led to a super well-driven machine, and they're going to be scoring a lot of points. With the amount of time that they've had at scrimmages and the amount of time that they've probably had for driver practice, with the right alliance, they're definitely going to go far here as well. Finally, for my dark horse, I have 2181 Gears. And once again, if you want to look at a team that's executed the KISS principle to a T, look no further than this team. They have this simple floor intake that hands off right to their shooter, and they shoot at the speaker into the high goal. They are well driven, and they have an amazing autonomous routine to boot. They were regularly putting up 4 or 4.5 no autos at the Nightcrawler week 0, and I only expect them to improve since then. Now, they haven't won a banner yet in their team history. Last time they were even in the finals was in 2018, but if they continue putting up robots like they have this year, they're going to go far and take a lot of people by surprise.
Thanks, Dan. Now we move on to our final forecast, where we have Stanford covering the Hueneme Port Regional.
Coming up this week in Southern California is one of the most stacked events I've ever seen, the Port Hueneme Regional. And yes, that's pronounced Hueneme. Once again, taking place right on the water at the Fathom Works warehouse, 50 teams will be battling both the cold, at least by Southern California standards, and each other for those blue banners. As has been the case for the past few years, the number of teams that can seriously challenge for victory at this event is in the double digits, which is pretty crazy for a regional, and also made it very hard to narrow down for this list. The insanity of this event started in its previous iteration as the LA North Regional in 2020, with a star-studded list of teams from all over California and beyond. In 2022, it was a similar story, and last year it witnessed a 4.5 match finals series as the number 1 and number 3 seeded alliances battled through ties and field faults. With that said, the first lock of this fearsome Week 1 event that I expect to be glued to the top of the rankings and tear through playoffs is the reigning world champs Team 4414 High Tide. Based on their teaser, they look to have it all. Turret, under the bumper intake, adjustable angle shooter, at least a 6-node auto. You name it, they've probably got it. We also know they've been able to practice cycling for at least 3 weeks, so they'll also have some of those practice drivers out there. From their teaser, they look to be an unbelievably quick scorer. And that was the robot almost a month ago. Port Hueneme is looking to experience High Tide once again this year in full force. The second lock that I expect to win alongside the reigning world champs is Team 6036 Peninsula Robotics. Since FRC came out of the pandemic, 6036 has been on a steady rise, from getting their first banner in 2022 to nearly beating the Citrus Tide Alliance at last year's Port Hueneme Regional, alongside taking home 2 more blue banners in 2023. They look to have continued their rise this year with another incredible machine. Much like High Tide, these guys also have an adjustable angle shooter alongside a turret and under the bumper intake. Programming is also a strong suit of theirs, so you can bet their autos will also be top notch. I'm definitely excited to see what this new NorCal powerhouse can pull off this weekend. Moving on to the contenders for this event, I expect these teams to be challenging the locks for high ranks, and also be challenging our locks as part of their alliances and playoffs. First among this group is Team 973 Greybots. These 3-time world champions don't need much of an introduction. Most people across all of FRC know just how good they can be. That said, they usually spend their first event of the season working out some kinks. Their performance tends to get better and better as the season goes on, a lot more than most other teams, usually to the point where at the end of the season they can grab a world championship or 3. At this Week 1 event, we'll just have to watch and see how they can challenge our locks. The other contender at this star-studded event is the new SoCal Phenom 7157 Mubotics. Making their first appearance at the Port Hueneme Regional, this up-and-coming powerhouse is looking to solidify their position as one of SoCal's top teams. It's hard to tell what exactly they've cooked up this year based on their teaser, but I'm pretty sure I can make out an adjustable turret, maybe an adjustable angle shooter. We'll just have to see. Regardless of their robot, a strength of theirs the past couple years has been their driving skill. Much like their 2022 machine, I expect these guys to be monsters in teleop, and maybe, just maybe, they can claim their second blue banner this weekend. Finally, a dark horse at this event who could surprise our locks and contenders is a new team on the block, 9408 Warbots. Starting off with a suite of experienced mentors and students coming from Vex Robotics competition, they started winning right out of the gate. As a pre-rookie, these guys ranked first and won in their first competition appearance at the SoCal Showdown off-season event. A couple weeks later at Beach Blitz, they also impressed and went on to be the first pick of the third place alliance. These Warbots are pros already. They are yet to experience a full competition season, so there is an unknown there, but there's a chance that 9408 could replicate their pre-rookie offseason and find immediate success. And with that, there's your forecast for the Port Hueneme Regional. I do just want to say it was very, very hard to narrow it down to this many teams. Ultimately, I had to make a couple very hard decisions, and I'm probably wrong, but we'll just have to see and see what the 50 teams competing this weekend can pull off. I'm very much looking forward to the event. I'll be there as a game announcer, so stop by the scorers table and say hi if you see me, and I'll see you there, folks.
Thanks, Stanford. Well, that concludes this episode of FRC Forecast. With that being said, good luck to all teams competing in Week 1, and let us know below what your thoughts are for Week 1. I'm Angel Miranda, and this is FRC Forecast.
This video on fun is brought to you by viewers like you and also in partnership with the following. Discover how Kettering University students engineered their success with Kettering's amazing co-op employment programs where students earn great pay and gain valuable experience. Those accepted into Kettering University can apply for a robotics scholarship providing up to an additional $5,000 a year in tuition assistance. Head on over to kettering.edu/first to learn more and apply.